Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to the virtual headquarters. This is MYAVANA, and we are excited to have you here. My name is actually Jasmine Bailey, not MYAVANA, but you are on the MYAVANA virtual headquarters in the virtual headquarters for our virtual hair club. We had some interesting things that happened today, but we are actually still excited that you have come in today into the room to be able to listen to us and hear our special guest today. So, without any further ado, I am going to introduce you to Coach Q. You can say hi to the people, Coach Q.
Hello, hello.
All the people, all the people. Excellent. So here at MYAVANA, we are helping women to awaken their power within and be their best authentic self. With that being said, we like to bring wonderful guest speakers, coaches, experts, people who are influencers and who have passion work in their field, and they want to speak not only to their community, but they've agreed to speak to the MYAVANA community. And today is like none other, and we have Coach Aquila Q, Coach Q Hicks. So what I'm going to do is introduce her, and then you'll really know why she's here after you hear some of her bio. So Aquila Hicks is also known as Coach Q, as I've already said, and she's a certified life and health coach. She's a serial entrepreneur, a flight attendant, a podcaster, author, and a mom of three, and she's also a wife. So she wears a couple of hats every now and again. So Coach Q was diagnosed several years ago with severe depression and anxiety. And it was in the early years of her motherhood and marriage. When she was battling with this diagnosis, she actually set out on a mission to heal naturally. And while she was on this journey, it was shortly after that that she found out that healing started with wisdom. So she started applying and chasing biblical wisdom, and that's what led her to restoration, wholeness, and joyful living. I really just truly love that. And she has a joyful blueprint. I know she's going to talk about that.
Yes, yes.
Excellent. Coach Q, she is passionate about helping others and especially moms discover their purpose, achieve their goals, and plan out their dreams without overwhelm or guilt. So I'm going to run that part back without overwhelm or guilt. And she does this by incorporating biblical wisdom and mindset work into her coaching practice. So without any further ado, welcome, Coach Q. Thank you for being here. You are going to share with us 3 simple ways to become a better you in 2024. So take it away.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited. And anytime I can get to talking about wisdom and being better and goals, I just get so worked up inside. So I'm so grateful to be here today. So I'm gonna dive in and just get started. We're gonna talk today about 3 simple ways to become a better you in 2024. I'm gonna share with you why becoming a better you is enough. Okay, is enough within itself. I'm going to share with you how becoming a better you will lead you to all your other goals and all your other passions that you have, and how to become a better you, okay, in just simple ways. So I love to start off with a short story so that we can all relate together, but just to share a little bit of my life. And so here I was ending my 32, my 32, what do you call it, like times around the sun. I was entering my 33rd birthday. And my brother and I, we're not twins, but we share the same birthday, but we're 3 years apart. So we were sitting enjoying the sun together. Our birthdays are in July. I want to say we were by the water somewhere. And his girlfriend at the time asked me, Quilla, what was your biggest accomplishment for your 32nd year? And so at this time, I was still an at-home mom. Nothing big or huge happened that year for me. And so I remember, you couldn't see it on my face, but I remember feeling it like in my spirit, in my heart, and thinking, just like, what did I accomplish? Like, what big did I, really do for that year? And I went on to take it on into the night with me, and I just kind of got quiet and thought about it. And it wasn't anyone but God who had rested on my heart that I may not had accomplished anything huge that I thought, like my husband and I, we didn't purchase a big home that year. We didn't, open another business. It was nothing huge in my mindset. But God just began to show me the other accomplishments I had made, which was the personal ones of me becoming just a better me, overcoming challenges and healing and all that stuff that we think is little, but it really is big. Okay. So I want you to think about like when the year comes around, when our birthday comes, when, that ball drops for the next, 2025 or whatever it may be, what we're thinking about is like, what we want to do, right? What we want to accomplish, what we have done. And most of the time we're getting tough on ourselves about what we haven't accomplished. But I want to challenge you today to think about who you could become in 2024. Not what you can have, not all the stuff that you can necessarily do, or the secret competition that many women or just people in general that we have between ourselves, the materialistic attachments. We're going to pull ourselves all away from that for a moment, and I want you to think about who you could possibly become in 2024 and what that will do for you. Okay. Before I go into the simple steps of how you can become a better you, and it is very simple, I want you to think about just one word that you can begin to ruminate on, meaning to just roll around in your mind and focus on each day, which will help you. Well, actually is your first step to becoming the best you. So rather than like having a huge goal for yourself, which I know when 2024 came around, the average person did have some goals for themselves, right? But I want you to just think of a word, just one word that you know that you need to do better on, or that you could do better on, or that you truly desire. Maybe the word could be trust. Maybe it is compassion. Maybe you struggle with patience a little bit. My word for the year is trust. And I didn't put a sentence with it. It was just trust in general, like trusting the process. And so each morning I wake up with that word on my mind. Before I go to bed, I have that word on my mind. So I would love to challenge you to think of a word and just focus on that word for the year and watch yourself grow in that word. Okay. So that's number one. All right. So you might be like, well, Coach Q, why do I desire to become a better me? Why would I want to be a better me versus trying to do some other huge, big things that I got my mind on that social media is kind of leaning me towards, right? Well, becoming the best you, that's where it starts with first. God is more concerned about our character and who we become versus anything that we can possibly have, right? Because I can like buy my 8-year-old right now a car, but he doesn't know how to drive it. He doesn't know, how to maintenance it. So if I literally gave him the keys to the car and he would try to attempt to drive around the block, he would hurt himself. A lot of the times we can't get what we want or what we desire because we're not ready to have it, because we haven't become who we need to become in order to sustain that thing, right? And oftentimes we're really impatient to get something, and it's just not there yet. It's a good reason why it isn't, because we may not be ready for it. So your first step is literally becoming the best you that you could possibly be, because that's when the doors open to everything else. Okay. And I want to reiterate one more time that God is more concerned about who you become, your character development, versus any other materialistic thing that perishes away. Okay. So keep that in the forefront of your mind. We are constantly chasing after the wrong things in life. We really are. And we're becoming a better us keeps us centered and focused. It allows us to think better, to live better, to react less, to have more resiliency, and to be honest, to have more self-control. Okay. So instead of focusing on all the outer things, we get to put this internal of becoming the best possible us that we can possibly be. Okay. So we're ready to dive into those three simple things, right? The first thing is just a proverb a day. That's it. And so how you do a proverb a day is really simple. You just open up to the book of Proverbs in the Bible. And let's just say today is what? January 31st. So we would go to the 31st chapter of Proverbs and read that chapter for the day. And then guess what? When the next day comes around, you go to the first and you read it. A lot of times when you have the Bible in front of you, you don't know where to start, right? Proverbs is the perfect place to start every single day. And then if you desire and you have that urge, and you will as you begin to read more and more, as you have that urge to learn more about the Bible and gain more wisdom, then you begin to go to other chapters. But if you're looking for a fresh start, you're looking for where to start, or just a place to go when you don't know where to go. I apologize if you guys hear any noise in the background. I got my little family moving above. Okay, I'm sorry. So let me regain my focus, regain myself. Okay, so if you don't know where to start and you're looking for just a place to go to every day within the word, all you got to do is open to the proverb of the day and begin to read that. It says in Proverbs that wisdom is literally yelling out into the streets, trying to get people's attention, right? And even though that's an analogy, I want you to think about the power of wisdom standing on, your street corner, yelling out to you, telling you to come here. But as women, we're so busy doing other stuff. So you're busy, you're dismissing them, you're putting the kids on the bus, you're getting in the car, you're rushing to work, and wisdom is still standing out there, yelling to you, trying to get your attention, saying, hey, come to me, I got something to tell you. Hey, come to me, I got something to share with you, to help you become better, to worry less, to be less anxious, to slow down, to really enjoy life. But we can't even realize that wisdom is there and that wisdom is calling out to us if we don't begin to slow down and honestly open up that word, and you will learn so much. Throughout the course of reading Proverbs, no matter how many times you read Proverbs, and I've been doing this for well over 10 years now, reading the Proverbs, you still gain a new perspective and learn something new every single time. So I promise you, you might read on February 1st, Proverbs 1, but I promise you on March 1st, when you read Proverbs 1 again, there's going to be a new perspective of something. You're going to see something that you didn't see in there the months before. Okay. So a proverb a day, that's where you are going to draw so much wisdom. Proverbs talks about money and relationships. It talks about wife and marriages and balance. It talks about who to stay away from, who to get close to. I mean, it shares God's love. It gives you, tells you where wisdom came from and what God wants from you. I mean, Proverbs is just an excellent start. And if you desire to go a little bit deeper, Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes is an excellent chapter. This is when Solomon was older in his years. So it reminds me of when I used to go down to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and hang with my grandfather. And I would sit and ask him questions. And during this time, he would share, like me as a 10, 12-year-old little girl listening to this old man talk about the war and the lessons he learned and the mistakes he made and how he would do it all over. It welled up my heart and it made me so hungry for more. So as you watch, as you read over Ecclesiastes, it goes deeper and it begins to like explain and break things down and help you to have a better understanding. But basically, in a nutshell, Solomon tells you, like, I've done it all, I've had it all. And all of it is meaningless unless you have a relationship with God, unless you're doing it all to the glory of God. So Ecclesiastes, if you want to go a little bit deeper, but your first step is a Proverbs a day. Okay. And I know that sometimes that we want to cheat and we want to listen to it on our phones, but it's so much better to read because then you get to reflect. Okay. So that second step is to move your body. Okay. So as we get older, we get into really unhealthy routines, okay? And we think that we're moving our bodies a lot, and we think that we're moving a lot throughout the day, but as we're making the same moves and the same steps throughout the day, it's just mundane tasks. And so it's not really doing our body an extraordinary benefit, because after a while, you just your body just gets used to it. So over time, what are we doing? We got arthritis that sets in. We got a pain, or, our hips are hurting. And what do? We run to the doctor and we get medication for it. But many times you just need to move that part of your body. You got to think about, when was the last time you stretched? Okay. When was the last time you just rolled around in the floor? Like, I know this sounds really crazy, but when was the last time you rolled around in the floor and moved parts of your muscles and body? When we were in elementary school and we had gym time, what were we doing? Playing with the parachute, running around, rolling on things. And as we got older and older and older, we began to sit in chairs more. And we began to slump over more. But what our body really desires to do is move. It doesn't want to be stagnant. That doesn't mean that we're supposed to stay in busyness and chaos. No, but our bodies desire to be moved and have different elements and stretch those parts of us. I mean, we are like a scientific miracle. And what we're doing all day is just walking, sitting down, hunched over at computers, looking at our phone. And it's so important that as you discipline yourself to move your body, and I know that exercise can be a trigger word for some people, because some people have tried to exercise. It's been a rigorous thing, and they may or may not have achieved their goals. So I try to move away from the word exercise and move your body, because you don't necessarily have to be so strenuous all the time. Just begin to move your body in simpler ways, in different ways. Um, a way that you can move your body, of simple examples, is of course stretching out in the morning time, 5, 10 minutes. You'll be amazed at what it will do. You can swim. I mean, I love to swim. Swimming, riding your bike, just doing a walk around the block in the morning. Sometimes we think to ourselves, like, if we can't do it big, if we can't commit an hour to the gym every day, then we just won't go. If we can't commit to running on the treadmill for 30 minutes, we just won't go. But it doesn't have to be that. You can very simply just walk around your block. If it's not something that you normally do, just walk around your block. Or you can begin to do some jumping jacks at the house. Just think about parts of your body that you haven't moved in a long time. It's very stiff. So all of this has to do is just basically disciplining yourself to really care for your body and nurture your body in a way that you haven't had to before. And in that, I want you to remember and understand that when we eat, the food that we eat. Now, I know that our desire is to eat food that tastes good, and we have began to like get so creative with food that it is, our desire is just for it to be taste so good, right? But food is necessarily created to give us energy to do what we need to do. So food isn't, I'm not going to say not necessarily meant to taste good, but the whole purpose of food is to give us energy. So if we're eating the food throughout the day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we're not burning off that energy that we've eaten throughout the day, not only have we piled on more, we have like compiled energy within us, just like stuck within us. And it's desiring to be, I don't even know if this is a word, exerted or desired to be let go of. So you have to remember that the food that you're eating, the energy that you're putting into your body desires to run that off, to wear it off, right? So it's important to know that as you're eating, take a conscious mindset that, hey, I'm going to use this energy. I'm really going to use it. I'm not just going to eat to feel good and for it to taste good, but I'm going to use this as an energy source to do the things that I need to do and to move my body. Okay. And remember that removing your body, the key component of that is you disciplining yourself to nurture you. Okay. And then number three, another simple way is that we all have careers, or we all have jobs. And even if let's just say you're at home mom, you still have a job of tending to your family and all of that. In your job or in your career, whatever season that you're in, remember to serve in it, meaning we have to be involved in something bigger than ourselves, okay? Because if we're not involved in something bigger, then life becomes all about us, if that makes sense. And then when it's always about us, it's easier to go into depression. It's easier to go into anxiety. It's easier to be fearful of the future. But when we're involved in something bigger, and even the careers that we have, even if you are whatever career you have, cashier, coach, VA, whatever it is, you can see that as being involved, as a blessing to be involved in something bigger than just yourself. You are involved in such an intricate design of something that's so much bigger, and that you're actually called in that position to serve. Okay. So do you know, like 38% of people say that they are fulfilled with their work. So what does that leave us with? 62% of people in the US are very unfulfilled with their job. Does that mean that you can't find joy in it? Does that not mean that you can't serve to the fullest of your capability? No, you can. If you're finding unfulfillment in your work, okay, which is the vast majority of people, you can choose to change your perspective and figure out how you can serve. So we're all gifted. Each and every single one of us have our own personal gifts in the way that we serve, whether our serving is mercy or giving or whatever it may be. We can choose to use that gift that we have and use it in component with our careers and begin to serve. And you'll notice that that fulfillment will come. Okay. So it's important to realize that whatever God has you busy with your hands, like whatever it is that he has your hands on in this season, not only will you find fulfillment through it as you serve through it, but it's so much bigger than just yourself. Okay. So if you're not where you desire to be in your career, if you're not where you want to be, and you feel like maybe whatever the position you're in is less than, it's not, because it is so much bigger than you. Okay. So if your career, let's just say, for instance, you are in a career where you're in a steel mill or factory, it is very, very hard to create a connection component with others and begin to use a gift that you may have because you're working with machines all day. That's really difficult. My husband used to work at the steel mill for almost 20 years, so I totally get it. But when you get out of your job, when you get out of your career for the day, begin to use those gifts to serve your family, to serve those around you. When you are in connection with those at work, whether you have an operator that's next to you, how can you serve them? How can they be a part of such a bigger picture? Outside of coaching, I'm a flight attendant, and it's something that I absolutely love. And I don't know if I ever want to get rid of that aspect of my life. But each time I get ready for a trip, I'm going on a trip tomorrow. Each time I get ready for a trip, inside of me, I'm really excited because I know that God has something to show me. He has something to teach me. Every single trip that I go, I'm with a new set of flight attendants, a new set of pilots. And I learned something from someone around me, something that I never heard before, maybe a different culture, maybe a different scripture, just anything. I'm always learning something. And it also helps me apply this to my journey of life. And then I'm also looking for ways like, how can I serve? How can I coach? How can I help? And so no matter where you're at in your position of life, no matter what season you're in, it's just important to remember that you can serve and you can find the fulfillment in your serving, because I promise you it's so much bigger than yourself. Okay. So this year, those three simple things this year to become a better you. And just remember that becoming a better you is enough. So if you get to the end of 2024 and you didn't reach that huge goal that you had for yourself, I want you to think about who you became. And you can become so much more, and can become deeper in who you are by first reading that Proverbs every single day and growing in wisdom. And where you grow in wisdom, you make better decisions, you're making better choices, you're having deeper relationships and friendships, you're overcoming fear, you're gaining understanding. Okay. Second, you want to move your body, and this is all about discipline. Like, who really wants to go out for a walk around the block when it's like 2 degrees outside, right? So it's all about the discipline. And I'm in the Midwest, so I know. But it's all about the discipline. It's all about you realizing, like, hey, this body is a temple that God has given me, and I need to take care of it really. I need to take care of it really good. So I need to get on up and move myself. I need to stretch. I need to figure out ways to move my body. And I'll share a really short story with you. Years ago, I have back issues, and I have an scoliosis, which is a significant curve in my back. And so I would have a lot of pain. So what I would do is go into the doctor and get injections. I think were like steroid injections. And so after one bad instance with it, and my sister wind up, just a bad reaction for it. My sister wind up coming into my home and finding me. I was on the floor, nearly passed out from a reaction from the medication. And I remember, like, I know there has to be a better way than to deal with this pain. Well, I started going to physical therapy, and I learned through physical therapy ways that I wasn't moving my body and where tension was like stacking up against the nerve and where there were tight spots. So I dedicated to massages. I dedicated to getting back to swimming. I dedicated to stretching every day. And I have not had another, I haven't had another injection. And I know now within my body that if that pain comes back, when it does come back, that I'm just not moving my body the way that I need to. So I want you to truly consider those ailments, that stiffness that you're having in your body. Does it really require you to take medication, which I am not against it, or is it just a part of you that you need to move and that you need to loosen up? Okay. And then the third part, the third simple step is serving others. Okay. Just serving others in whatever season you're in, whatever job you're doing, whatever career you're into, just serve them to the best ability that you know how to serve and realize that you are a part of something so much bigger. Okay. It's about, I mean, I hate to say that life is not about you, but it's about this big, like huge circle of like, if one person has a problem, we literally all have a problem because we're all connected. And I know that's huge and it sounds really cliche, but the truth is you have to understand that your unique gift is meant to serve someone that doesn't have that same unique gift as you. And they may be weak in that area. And you never know what your gift will do. And you serving and being lighthearted will do and for that other person and how that ripple effect begins to happen. Okay. So that is it. That is the 3 simple ways to become a better you in 2024. And I'm looking forward as you guys put these into steps, who you become in 2024.
That is beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. I hope everyone was able to take away with one of the 3 and then all of the 3. Just keep them stacking. They're really simple. But Coach Q, that was amazing. And I want to talk about your step 2, like move your body. It's interesting, and I'll tell you the funny story about this because I'm starting to brush my teeth and making sure I'm brushing it at least 2 minutes. That's how long you're supposed to do it. So as I was standing there one day, I was just like, just started doing like a little squat. And then I started moving, and I was just like, well, if I'm going to practice 2 minutes. So when you said that, I was just like, okay, you have confirmed it's not that we have to do something like extraordinary, but just the little pieces, they add up after a while. So
That's right.
that's awesome. And thank you for serving in your work and what you do. And I want you to let us know what you have going on, because I sat on a webinar about a week ago with you, and you have a group and you have a blueprint that you have, and I have to listen back to your audio. So I would like you to share with the community what you have going on, so if they want to get in contact with you and reach out to you, we can give them that information as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So one of my signature programs, well, this is my signature program, which is a group program. It's called the Joyful Blueprint Academy. And what it is it takes that woman I've worked with men too, but it takes that woman from feeling anxious, feeling overwhelmed by all of her responsibilities, to having the time and the energy to confidently and consistently pursue her goals and her God-given passions. What we do as women, especially Black women, we have a tendency to serve and be caretakers to other a lot. And we have true imbalance because we don't know how to take care of ourselves. And when it comes to the point where we have a little bit of time to take care of ourselves, either we fill it up with busyness because we're so addicted to the busyness, or we feel too guilty to take that time to really take care of ourselves, right? And all of it is just a cycle of self-sabotage, right? So throughout the course of this program, what I teach the women is how to rediscover their joy, how to regain their time and their energy so that they can start pursuing all of their goals and their dreams and their passions without the guilt, okay? And that's what we truly need, is that balance, but we don't realize that we need the balance on the inside before we can get it on the outside. And so my Joyful Blueprint Academy is 12 weeks, and it includes weekly coaching, but it's also weekly healing call for mental health therapist Nikita Young, which is also my sister. And it's a private Facebook community as well. And we have monthly workshops, and you get to keep lifetime access to the step-by-step course and all of the tools and material within there. So it's an amazing, amazing program. And if you guys mention MYAVANA, you are able to take $500 off of this course up until the middle of February. And then outside of that, I do have my one-on-one coaching, and those are those who desire to go deeper and desiring to really get truly specific on their goals and all of that. But you have access to me inside of Joyful Blueprint Academy and my sister Nikita as well with mental health therapists. So we're tackling that mindset as well as those emotions. And if they want to get in touch with me, the best way is through Instagram DM, or you can go to joyfulblueprint.com.
Excellent, excellent. We will definitely put that in the chat, so in the description box, so that people can contact you and can fill that joyful blueprint for their lives. So I really appreciate you for coming on. And what I would like to see if you could do, and I know I asked you this before we leave, because we are endeavoring to helping women awaken to their power within and be their best self. That's what we're here, and we want to have community. So if you can just provide your beautiful coaching technique and how you can speak to someone who may feel like, okay, how am I going to get through these 3 simple steps? So like you could coach them after the call, so to speak, so that they can remember this part, that the 3 simple steps, they may seem trite to some. However, Coach Q is saying to you, day 4, day 5, day 6, I need you to keep moving forward. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So, yes. Okay.
So you want me to explain how I would wrap up a coaching call to help this woman
Yes.
hold herself accountable with moving forward?
Yes.
Okay. So what I would do is I would have, speaking to this woman, I would say, this is your action steps for the week. Okay. And your action steps, first, we're going to decide on what it is that you really wanted. Who is the woman that it is that you desire to become? Now that we've heard all this, I want you to jot it down or just keep it in your mindset. What type of woman do you want to become? Do you want to be confident? Do you want to be bold? Do you want to be balanced? Do you want others to see you as patient and kind? Okay. Who is it that you want to move away from? And who is it truly that you want to be? And once you decided that, I want you to ask yourself, why is it that you want to be that woman? Okay. So now that we got that clear and we've jotted that down, I want you to see that your action steps for this week. Okay. And action steps this means in the next 7 days, I want you to open Proverbs and I want you to read that Proverbs. Okay. Then second, I want you to figure out a way that you can move your body this week that you haven't moved it. And I would have that girl explain to me, we would go into detail, how are you going to move your body? So if you're listening to this, think about or jot down, how are you going to move your body any different? Now we want to let you know, you do not have to be strenuous. You do not have to start lifting 50 pounds of weights, okay? And, and getting crazy and going hard on YouTube workout videos. You don't. To be honest, you can just watch a yoga video. And I know that many Christian women may not want to move towards yoga because of the practices with it. I get it. And I totally understand. But I necessarily just move my body in the ways instead of worshiping or whatever may be connected to that. So just a simple 5-minute yoga. Asking yourself, how can you move your body differently this week? And then what will it do for you? What will it do for you if that pain went away? What would it do for you if you didn't have that ache constantly in your back? Okay. What will it do for you if you were ever able to stand up straighter and you had more energy? What would that do for you? Okay. So that's a question you want to answer. And lastly, when was the last time that you fully served someone? So your last action step for this week is to fully serve someone. And I know that might ignite a little bit of fear in you, because when we fully serve people, that means that we're putting ourselves out there, and we might be making ourselves a little vulnerable. And who loves that? Who really likes the V word, right? And it can stir up a lot of fear. So I want you to think about who you can fully serve, you know? Who can you fully, how can you really show up for yourself at work, which allows you to show up for others, okay? How can you do that? And when was the last time you've done it? So I would want you to get specific on the three. What day are you going to open your Proverbs, okay? What day are you going to do it? Secondly, how are you going to move your body this week and which days are you going to do it? And then third, how are you going to show up at work and whatever it is that you're doing and truly serve? Our brain needs to be very specific in order to be consistent in action. One of our greatest challenges is you're not specific in what you want. So when you're not specific in what you want, you can't move in the direction. So at the end of every single coaching call, we get specific about what it is that you want and what it is that you're going to do. Over the next 7 days, it's important to put these 3 steps into action.
I love it. Coach Q, that was beautiful. You just help women awaken to their power within and help them be their best authentic self. So you heard it, everyone. Coach Q is telling you something that's simple and it's easy to apply, but it's not always easy to do. So that discipline and that focus, and again, committing to something specific is going to be something that is very important. And we're going to tell you, you can do it one step at a time. So we want you to become your best self, awaken within that person that you were designed and called to be. So here at MYAVANA, we are so grateful that you have come. Thank you so much, Coach Q, for sharing your wisdom. And thank you for sharing your story. And thank you for sharing your community offerings with us. And we hope that you are well connected with some of the people that are in this community and everything that you have going on. So thank you. We will see you, everyone, in the next episode and next week when we have another special guest. And again, we'll have Coach Q's information, and we want you to know that we have beautiful people like her. And I'm so glad and grateful that I was able to connect with her. It was last year. So I'm grateful to have you in my circle of influence. So thank you very much, everyone. We want you to remember to download our app. You can get into our community. We're going to be continue to open up rooms, and you may see people like Coach Q in those rooms. So thank you again from the virtual headquarters. We want to say have a great one, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Take care. Thanks for having me.